I can't see it through the screen. My chicken is playing dead. Mama bear, you pretend you're dead? Getting some sun rays? When she lays like that, she looks like she's dead. Oh, silly little bastards. She's growling right now at Buck. Buck, she looks like she's dead when she lays like that, huh? Totally funny. Chickens are so weird. Let me see your tail feather, Buck. Come here, come over here. Come here, Buck. Hey, over here, Buck. Let me see it. His tail feather broke. But if you get in the right position, you can see he has a big patch of new feathers coming in right there in the back. Is when he got in a fight with that northern heron there. It's a big hawk, like blue hawk creature. Twice the size of him, but he managed to beat it. But it took a big chunk of feathers out, including 3 of his tail feathers. It looks like he's growing 5 back. So he'll be even more peacockish after. Hey! When he picks up rocks and sticks like that, it means he's trying to challenge me. You be a good boy, Buck. Don't be so naughty all the time. Pluck that feather that's broken. It looks retarded. Oh, can we not say that anymore? Buck, are you retarded? I think you might be. No? You don't like it when I call you names? Fluffy's just eating away. Loving life. Fluffy loves life. Buck, pull that feather out. It looks ugly. It's all broken. It's his longest one, so he doesn't want to get rid of it. I don't know how he broke it today, though. It's completely broken. They've been good chickens. Buck is definitely not friendly, but he does a really good job at taking care of the hens. I can basically just let these birds do whatever they want, and Buck will fight to his death. Which I guess that's what you want a rooster to do. And he is a fighter. Number 2 over there, drinking some water. Happy little chickens. They love their life. Raccoons have been coming in every night, but they've just been eating whatever the chickens leave behind. And they don't bother the chickens. Like, every once in a while I'll hear them go by the chicken coop and Buck will growl at them and then they take off. They're not interested in messing with Buck. They don't know what's in the coop at night, but they know they don't want to mess with it. Raccoons will eat chickens up here. But if the raccoons get into the coop, then we'll just shoot them. You know, like most of the neighbors just shoot them, but I rather just feed them a little bit of snacks and they get the extra grain. They clean up everything so the mice don't come and get it. So, you know, I don't really mind the raccoons as long as they're not getting into the chickens. So hopefully that's how it keeps going. Because after the raccoons go, the mice come in. But if the raccoons eat pretty much everything that the chickens left behind, then there'll be nothing for the mice, which is what I want. The mice are bastards. Yeah, just working in the gardens. I'm propagating. These are the 2 strawberries that did the best. This one and this row. So I've got little cups with soil propagating all the runners. And I'm going to be growing this zucchini for another month and a half. I usually cut it out in like August. It'll start getting weird and not growing right and taking too much water. So I'll cut that all out in August and then I'll re-till that a little bit. And then I'm gonna put strawberries in those rows too. And I'm gonna move the zucchini down to those rows next year. And then I have to find a whole new garden space for the kale. I should have done a lot more kale. So maybe I'll move kale back over to here, though these are 2nd-year strawberries in here, but I didn't put black plastic down and there's a lot of weeds. So I might just dig up all these strawberries and put them in rows over here. They get earlier morning sun here, so they'll do a little bit better too. Strawberries really need a lot of sun. a lot more sun than you would think for an undergrowth type plant, but they kind of grow in a field, you know. They don't grow under trees like blueberries and haskap. So it's really nice being able to come out here every morning and eat strawberries. So I want to do 2 more of these June bearing rows right there, and I'm going to put black plastic down this time and burn holes in the plastic, and then I'll plant the strawberries. I'll plant all these new ones in there, but then I'll also transplant some of these second year plants out of this row into the new row and into the black plastic. So then next spring, when everything comes about, I should have strawberries right away. You know, some of these plants, these are plants that are probably going to produce maybe next year, but definitely the year after. And you know, like the oldest plant is almost 2 years old now, which that produced really well this year, but it's gonna be on its last year this year. Next year they'll start slowing down. So I usually take the year 3 plants out in the spring of year 3 and leave the ones behind, and then all the runner plants I put into new rows and for the following year. But if I grow them like this in cups and then put them in the rows in September, next year they probably will have some fruit on them, but probably not great. But then the following spring they'll be great. So I got to use the black plastic though, because you can see all the grass coming through here. I tried doing it with just chips and mulch. You know, start like this, and then once they get established, move the chips in over them. But I still just get too much grass, so I usually don't use black plastic on my vegetables, but I'm gonna do it on strawberries next year. Because strawberries, they really have to go for 2 full years to really be productive, and by the time you get to that second year, the weeds are just out of control. But out of everything in the garden this year, the most rewarding things are being able to come out and eat strawberries off of the plants. Like every morning when you're watering, you can just eat fresh strawberries. It's hard to explain how rewarding that is when you live out where I live. No refrigeration. It's nice. You don't get sweet like fruit like that fresh often out here. We will once our trees all come in and we start having trees all year round. And when the haskap starts coming in, we'll have a lot more fresh fruit in spring. But strawberries are just so delicious, and yeah, they're really great. The kale too, it's important I always grow kale, but kale will grow just about anywhere. So I can make new rows anywhere on the property and grow kale. Where these are good established rows here are really good for strawberries, because they're all worked up, and you know, once you plant them with the black plastic, they can go a while without having any problems. So yeah, strawberries. Most of the stuff right here by the cabin is going to be strawberries next year, and tomatoes. Stuff I have to tend to every day. And I got to open up a new garden space. You know, this is a good garden space, but I put a lot of my shrubs in my nursery here. So as the blueberries and haskap grow up, and the bush cherries, as they get bigger, I can dig them out and put them in better places. But I just planted them all kind of close right there so I can nursery all those plants. And, you know, this time next year in September of next year, all those plants will be like nice little 2-foot bushes, and then I can move them around the property to their permanent spot. Yeah, a lot of stuff. It's July 5th. It's July 4th yesterday. Partied a little bit and didn't sleep much. The raccoons were out all night and the chickens got up really early. So I'm a little tired, but just trying to get everything watered. It's supposed to rain a little bit tonight, but I just can't rely on that with all these fresh plants, especially these bush cherries. They're so small and they're still getting rooted in. They're starting to do good though. They all have good new growth on them. So I'm just going to go around with a watering pot and all the rain collection water I have. I still have about 100 gallons of that. I'm going to go around and just distribute that. Water everything in really good, and maybe it will rain tonight and really soak everything up. And then it should be good for the next 2 days, and I'll be able to work on other stuff. Actually, I have to move out back. I just mowed this again for the 3rd time this season, and out back needs to be mowed. So it's like every week I have a section that I'm mowing. So that takes up a lot of time, because I've got about 7 acres now, you know, throughout the wooded area that is cleared. I gotta change this hummingbird feeder too. I can see there's dead ants in it. I go do that actually.